you. Maybe Lawson. We can't hear
or
you
or have them call in.
or call in, but I don't know. So figure it out. I love you. So we also got with us our regular guest host Andre Gisbert. He's a sports analyst, and what else? About you?
I'm
Sports
a video marketing and video director.
marketing and video director, sportscast, and you want to tell them about your latest news or?
All right. So basically, I'll be handling analytics and video for the USFL here in nearby in Canton, Ohio.
All right, that's awesome, and that means I'm going to end up having to watch the USFL, which I don't mind because they got the New Jersey Generals. But normally, I have to give my wife a break for football. And then we also got Ray Sherrod, who is also on our broadcast of the Sportscast. He's got his own show. Him and my buddy Aaron Vet Cloud, who is a Commander fan. Ray is, as you can see, a San Francisco 49er fan. It's just I don't understand the colors he's got on because they look more Kansas City than they do 49er fan. But he has his show. Tell us a little bit about your show real quick. When is it? And name it Sports 101, no? On Tuesdays at 10 p.m., right? Eastern?
Yes.
And then 7 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, tell us a little bit about your show.
Well, just me and my good friend Vet. He asked me to do a host a show with him, and I was delighted to be a part of the Sportscast. He's pretty much talks about Midwest and East Coast, and then I pretty much talk about the West Coast. And it's Sports Talk 101, Thursdays, 10 and 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern.
Awesome. We'll talk about that a little bit. We're waiting for my co-host. He's having a little bit of internet problems. Apparently, Andre said that there's internet issues going on, and I'm trying to get the stats for the game. But all right, so let's talk about the Super Bowl, right? So Ray, I was on a show with Ray from pre-Super Bowl. I was the only one who picked the Eagles. And then the next day, there was only one person who picked Kansas City. So it was funny. I had 2 days of shows where I was the only one, and then I was in the majority. So it was funny. We went both sides. I thought it was, first of all, I thought it was a fantastic Super Bowl. Okay. A fantastic Super Bowl. We're going to get into the ending and all that in a little bit. Let me take us around. Right. I thought it was a fantastic Super Bowl. Number one. Number it's Amber Alert. Sorry. I thought it was a fantastic Super Bowl. We're going to go over some of those pieces that I had stated about the keys to the success. I will tell you that, I love the game in its totality. I also I was very impressed with Jalen Hurts. He deserves now to get, he played well. Other than that one bad play, which that bad play hurt, he played well. So let's go around. Andres, overall, the Super Bowl, just the experience.
I think it was an awesome game. As someone who had no skin in the game, it was great to see the back and forth battle that it was. I think it was awesome to see the halftime adjustments and the mid-game adjustments in the middle of things, how they had to adjust things. I think it was awesome to see how just these offenses were just clicking at times, and sometimes they just weren't, and to see them overcome that and make adjustments. There are times that we will watch a game and we never see an adjustment of that sort. And Kansas City made 3 separate adjustments.
All right, we'll get into that. I want to go over all the game. Don't give me too much. Yeah. I go hold him. My analysts tend to be analysts. Ray, yes. Ray, talk to me overall the game experience, right? Because sometimes some Super Bowls just stink, right? What do you think?
No, this was not a stinker. I think this was a great game. Made me even respect Jalen Hurts even more.
No doubt.
I think made me. I got. And honestly, it could have been anybody's game. Anybody's game. Great game. I enjoyed it. Loved it. had pizza. Loved it.
Oh no, you don't understand, bro. I was at and fun. The irony, I was at, he's in Ohio, but I was at his parents' house. They had so much food that I didn't eat most of the day, and I lost weight. I think I ate more food in half a day of the Super Bowl than I did. I mean, from tres leches, which is like a Cuban dessert, to like brisk, to like empanada. Oh my, bro, there was so much food. It was crazy, and they kept feeding me because I went there early because I had to take care of them, and I was by myself because I needed it. So, yeah, I think overall it was a good game. Jalen played great. So let me go over. Obviously, I picked Philadelphia by 6. All right, and I got some keys to the game, and then you were on the show with me when you picked Kansas City, and congratulations, right? But I picked Philadelphia. I still think Philadelphia, and they say it still was a better team, but they played. One of the key to successes that I said, and I just want to bring this up because you were there, was when I said the key to success, because I picked Philadelphia, and then I went and said, here's the keys to success for Kansas City. Remember when we talked about that? You got to throw to your running backs. You got to do the wheel routes. You got to go. What did they do? They did exactly. Now, it wasn't my play calling, but I'm saying to you, they exposed that. That's number one. So that was that. The other piece of the pie was, remember, I also said I was going with Philadelphia. One, I thought they had more depth. They were a better team. But if Patrick Mahomes, I didn't think had any injury, I more than likely would have went with Kansas City because he's the X factor. His running didn't look like he was hurt. He looked like he was still hurt because when he walked and when he threw. But it seemed like when he went to run, he didn't care. But he ran differently. Remember that long run he ran? Right? Okay. If you ever watched the games before, the one thing I love about watching Patrick Mahomes run is that watch his eyes. Go watch some past shots of runs of Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't run like a Jalen Hurts, a Josh Allen, a Lamar Jackson, where when they run, they take off. They're taking off to run. It's like like Patrick Mahomes runs, and in his eyes, it's almost like he's still thinking. Even he's past the line of scrimmage. Am I going to fake him? Am I going to fake it, go out? If I'm not going to do this? Well, in this last game, he didn't do that because I think because he was hurt, he was just doing what a normal quarterback would do. Let me just get as much yards as I can and go. That X factor was like, man, that killed me.
Just so you know, he was mic'd up. I don't know if you heard the mic'd up. But you should hear the mic up. The brother was in a lot of pain. He was in pain. He was in pain.
And he played great with it.
He did. If you go back on the show, I said that, you're going to see Pacheco do some running. He did. I think he did about 70-something yards and a touchdown. I knew he was going to get – I knew for Mama, Travis was going to get a touchdown for Mama. And you were right. Because he kept showing Mama in the booth with
Roger Goodell.
Hey, you was right about you know who was the winner was Mama, because Mama was on the field. She hugged, and then he said, "Go to Travis. Go hug Travis. Go to Travis." And then she went to Travis and she hugged and she was crying, and it was beautiful. So shout out to Mama.
Hey, man, they even put her on the stage for the trophy ceremony.
They sure did.
Come on, you got to do that for moms. So anyway, so he was hurt, and that made the difference, except for he ran like he wasn't hurt, right? The other thing I also said is that, how we say that defense wins championships. So we all agree, right?
I agree.
I truly believe defense lost this game, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. In my perception, only because you have 4 defensive linemen with four defensive linemen, all of them with double-digit sacks. All of them. They got 70 sacks for the year. All linemen have double-digit sacks. They didn't get 1 sack, and they didn't do 1 rush. They didn't do 1, what do you call it, hurry? They didn't do 1 hurry up against an injured quarterback.
How does Travis Kelce get? First of all, how does Travis Kelce always get so open.
But we know that he gets his.
Like,
it
but
don't
you
matter.
know,
But look, I'm
you
going to
know.
argue. Wait a second. I'm going to argue with you from what we said last week. When I told you the reason I didn't like him, I didn't like the way Cincinnati played. I thought he was hurt. Oh, he threw for 300 yards, Victor. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What did he throw for this week? Less than 200.
Yeah, but he got 3 T.
But that's my point. So my point is, all my that. In other words, that was my point.
I got you. I got you. Okay? I got you. Yeah.
Right? He threw 300. That don't matter. You won by 3. Right. I don't give a crap if you throw for 600. If you win by 3 and you throw by 600, something's wrong. Right? This game, he threw for less than 200. And
ran 44 yards.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and most of it was on one play.
Right.
Right. Yep. So the defense, in my opinion, didn't show up. And I don't care if you didn't get a sack, they didn't get a hurry, they didn't get it. I mean, come on, that offensive line couldn't have been that. They were super well coached. And look, Travis is not a blocking defense tight end either. So it's not like you not got an extra guy blocking. That was just terrible. I'm not making excuses. Kansas City, God bless them. I like Andy Reid. I like Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. I was just picking, and my nephew's a Philadelphia fan, so I'm with my nephew, and I still thought that Philadelphia overall was a better team. They went in as they weren't the underdog. Kansas City was the underdog. Right? So anyhow, I want to see what was your response to that? Like, for the way the defense they didn't do anything.
Kudos to the offensive line. They did their job. If I was Patrick Mahomes, I'd be spending some of that money. I'd take them out, get them all some filet mignons or something. Take them out.
We have Rolexes.
Well, I was a jeweler. I was a jeweler, and who did that? There was
one of the quarterback that did that.
Yeah,
I think he got all his linemen Rolexes.
All of them Rolexes, and I had to engrave on the back of them a little message. But
Russell Wilson did that his MVP year.
Yes,
that's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah. Andre, what do you think about my comments about the defense?
You were right. I will give you your props, and I'll come on here. I'll give you your props on that about the defense. Yeah.
Right. Bro, man, how can you be that great of a defense? Now, look, they got exposed exactly the way I said by throwing. Yeah. They're 31st against the receiver, against the what do you call it, Andres, when the running backs catch balls?
I knew this topic was
anyhow, and that's how they won. Most of their touchdowns was a guy running out of the back. Wheel route. What do you call the few routes before?
Untraditional yardage from a running back.
Okay,
right.
And that's how they kept winning, and they did it. But again, it's sad to see a defense play that well, that close to a dynasty defense like the Bears. And at least when the Rams won, right? What's his name? Darnold and Von Miller, they didn't do nothing for the first half.
No.
But man, they showed up in the second half. You know what I mean?
Can we Michael Bolton? When it was 7-7, and I was like, oh my God, we need something, man. We need something. And the defense they scooped up the ball, ran it in. Hell, they even scooped it up again. And it got called back.
Yeah, but that was a rookie mistake by Jalen. There was no he tried to switch the ball from his left to the right.
Left to his right.
And that's hard for a running back to do. A quarterback,
you're
not trained. Andres, you coached a lot more from the offensive side. How many times do you teach a quarterback to switch the balls? You don't really do that. A running back, you do. All the other players, you do.
Actually, that's actually something that I feel was probably embedded in him and ingrained in him in Alabama. Because if you go and look at anybody who's a ball carrier in Alabama, they teach that to the running backs and the quarterbacks who run in Alabama. Now, if you're just a pocket quarterback, they don't have you do that. But if you notice, Tua, if you notice,
you're right.
if you notice a couple of the others that they've had that were somewhat mobile, they had them do that along with the running backs.
It cost them the game.
It might have cost them the game, but
no, it didn't. Might have. It was 7 points. They lost by 3. That turnover cost them the game.
I still say if you lose a game by 3, it's a coaching fault, not necessarily is it a player fault.
Oh, I'm not. Okay, time out. You're right. I am by no means blaming Jalen Hurts because that guy balled out.
Well,
he balled out for him to come down and score against a team like that, for him to run in a 2-point conversion like he did. I mean, he balled out.
He made up after the mistake. The coach gave him the ball.
And he redeemed himself. I'm just,
he did.
Just saying to you that it's just one of those I wish I can get back moments. Because that would, at the end of the day, I didn't even realize how it happened until I heard that it was him trying to switch hands. That freaked me out. You understand what I'm saying? Like I normally wouldn't hear a quarterback trying to switch hands. I never see. I don't even see running backs. Lamar. I never see those guys running downfield trying to switch hands. The only thing I see is Daniel Jones getting tackled by a cricket, and that's my man. And I had to say that because Byron's not on the show, and Byron always yells at me. Right,
Joe Blade, man. Joe Blade's got
run down. Nobody's around. Boom, but he gets cracked. Tackled by a cricket. What? But that threw me on. I go, what do you mean he tried to switch balls? And they man. But that guy balled out. God bless him. I was so happy for his play. I was very, very happy.
AJ Brown, I think over 100, and Devontae was right there. I mean,
dude, Goddard, he threw some passes to Goddard that Goddard caught was incredible.
Yeah,
man.
he did. Yeah, he did.
But let me tell you, here's one more thing. I want to go and go back around. Well, let's go back around to just talk about the defense, right? So tell me, again, to me, first of all, we're lucky it was only a 3-point game because I thought once it got past 24, once it gets too high, Kansas City, in my opinion, would run away. 2, remember, one of my other keys to victory now for Philadelphia was the opposite, was control the time of possession. They did that. That's why that turnover was so big. They dominated by 11 minutes. They had the ball for 11 minutes. Give Patrick Mahomes half of that. They win by 10, 12, 15 points, Kansas City.
Now, after I've seen the film, and I have access to all 22 and the wide and tight, and without seeing exactly what the heck they called, because I'm not privileged to that. But the tendencies look like they were playing the defensive line to play contain
against an injured quarterback.
Against an injured quarterback, which
was stupid.
Which, once again,
Coach.
If you look, I don't get paid the millions of dollars to be an NFL coach. And
that's why we're allowed to say we say whatever we want for free.
But at the end, without being disrespectful, my question is, what was the thinking? I just don't understand it. Maybe he saw something I didn't see.
Well, it didn't work.
It looks like he
saw what we saw. You didn't get pressure. You didn't get a sack on an injured quarterback. And then our good friend Ray is telling us on the mic, this kid was injured.
Oh no, he was hurt. He was hurt.
He was injured.
Bro,
he was hurt. He was injured. Why would you not?
I heard that mic'd up and I was like, yo.
I felt when he got on that bench and he was, whimpering.
You heard him in the huddle.
When he got tackled.
You heard him in the huddle, right? No. You heard him in the huddle.
Why wouldn't you just blitz? Why wouldn't you go after him then?
I would have.
My whole thing was when he was in the.
Would have landed on that leg. I would have twisted it under the pile. I would have hammered it. He would have been punching it.
He did get tackled, and it did get twisted, and he did get up, and I said, well, I looked at my wife. I said, well, the Eagles are winning. They're gonna tear that leg up.
And here's the thing: when he was in the huddle, and he's wincing trying to say the play, and you got two guys going, I didn't hear it.
Yep.
And he had to say the play again. It tells you it was even affecting his speech pattern from how much it was hurting. I mean, Dr. Feelgood gets a thumbs down from me because that boy ain't supposed to be in that much pain, and that was in the first half.
So then why wouldn't you be blitzing the crap out of him?
Like I said, I don't get that. Like I said, it was too conservative for after seeing now, I think I've seen the game now on coaching on the coaching edit now 4 times. And it's for me, it's so weird that they didn't blitz their linebackers all but 7 times the whole second half.
Well, Mr. Byron is Mr. Byron goes since I'm impressed, Byron. You actually fit inside your iPhone. Like it fits good.
All I want to hear is that I was right. That's it.
Oh!
I liked you better when you couldn't get in.
That's all I want to hear. That's it.
Byron, you were right.
Move your phone like this.
You were right in selecting Kansas City to win. That's it.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Okay. Now I want you to say, Andre, you were right.
He also used people like Tony. He used
well, we're gonna get into that next, so Byron's head could get bigger than it already is.
That's right.
Sky Moore. He used Sky Moore. He used Tony.
Oh man, you're singing music to Byron's ears, man. He's writing it down.
I want to know this.
That brother got
Where was Sanders?
That brother got sweet potato pie next to him right now with whipped cream. He's ready to tear me apart.
What happened to Sanders?
Look, so here's the deal. We're gonna come back to that, Byron. What we were talking about, and I want your perspective on this. And come on, okay, I'm gonna give it to you. You were right. You picked the right team. You did everything else. Okay, you happy? I gave you that. But now, give me the real Byron. Give me the defensive Byron. Byron, that Philadelphia defense was disappointing in that game.
Yes, but you know what, Brown here, what they're blaming it on? That I've gotten all week long, the cleats, the field. That's all they talk about.
That is their own damn fault. That is their own damn
terrible.
fault. No,
that is
terrible. Their own damn fault. I don't care what anybody says. That's not the equipment manager's fault. That's no one's fault. That's their own damn fault. They are given a field that is exactly the same to practice on.
Fired up Andres, man, just on cleats.
Oh, no. I'll tell you why I get upset. Because they go ahead and they have 2 practice fields to practice on that has the same exact grass as what they're playing on. Okay?
So they could have adjusted the cleats.
Exactly. So if they were slipping and sliding on the practice fields, that means they're going to be slipping and sliding in the stadium. Right. Now, they were slipping and sliding in week 1 when they played their week 1. Or week 2, whenever it is that either team played.
Cardinals.
Or whenever they play the Cardinals. My whole thing is you can't go ahead and play deaf, dumb, and stupid. You know this.
Okay, well, let's move on. But
they wanted to wear.
They're Philadelphia fans. They're going to figure out any reason possible why they lost, right?
I'll tell you why. Because they wore Jordan cleats.
It was a great game. But Byron, I want to go back to you got 4 linemen that have double-digit sacks, a minimum of 11 sacks each lineman. They had 70 sacks in the season, 1 sack away from the historic Chicago Bear defense. They had 0 sacks and 0 hurries against an injured quarterback with a tight end that is a superstar but doesn't block. I mean, how could you get not even a rush, man?
Because the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line was a little bit better than people
expected.
Yeah, a lot better.
Ray said that earlier. Yeah, but still, man, yes, they're a lot better. They were a lot better, or they are a lot better. I don't know what you're trying to say. I will tell you, they played a hell of a game, but I don't care. When you're a ranked defense like that, if there was a game, you show up.
He didn't show up.
You show up because remember,
They
I was
didn't-
giving Darnold crap. I was giving Von
show
Miller
up.
crap in the first half of the game last year. Yes or no? They did not do a damn thing last year. Okay? Nothing in the first half. But in the second half, that game flipped, and it was because of those two guys. There's no, and that defense wasn't better than Philly's defense.
Where was Hassan Reddick? He got mauled by Wiley all game long.
No, but
All game.
apparently,
Hassan Reddick, Sweat. Around here, they were saying that they didn't do what they normally do. Kept rotating people. They said a couple of them played a little bit more than they usually play, and they were trying to blame, say that was one of the things that they were a little tired, maybe.
well, that was something one of our guys said on one of the shows. Remember, Ray, that I think what's his name? I think Andres had mentioned it, that the one thing Philly has is depth. So for the fact that now that if they didn't rotate, again, that's a coaching problem. Because if you got depth, Byron, didn't you tell me that if you know that you can get a play and come back in, that you're going to go full tilt? It's nice to have someone full out. If they didn't do that, that's another coaching area. I'm going to go to another coaching from an offensive side that I thought Philly did poorly. Go ahead, Ray.
I said Andy Reid would outcoach this young coach.
He did. You did say that.
Even with time management towards the end, they were extremely smart. Because usually I'm like, man, please don't run it in. Don't run it in. Don't run it in.
That kid was smart.
He didn't run it in.
And stayed in bounds, though. Remember, some of these nuts don't run it in, but slide out of bounds. Which is the same thing.
That is coaching.
Yes.
And that's smart.
Wait a second. The other thing one of the guys said on the same show that I was on with you was Spagnuolo, right? Spagnuolo played a good defense, man. He got his sacks. He got a couple turnovers, one that was called back. I mean, Spagnuolo stepped it up. He's still, up and down for me because you still gave up 30-something points, right? And you gave up 2 points and you gave up all this other stuff. But, Spag did what he had to do. I was just very, very disappointed in the defense that was so heralded all year.
A.J. Brown caught a perfect touchdown, like a perfect, what was that, a 40-something yard burger, just boom in the air. Beautiful. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. But let me ask you a question. Here's my biggest problem that I had. Okay. Even though I still felt Philadelphia at the point in the game, I still believe Philadelphia was going to win, right? Okay. But me knowing and seeing how the game's going and playing against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, right? And Kelsey was on fire. Even my nephew was like, Uncle, how is he on so much? I mean, this is Travis Kelsey. This is a bona fide Hall of Famer. He's open. He got so many passes in the first half. But my point was this. Don't you think that, again, being outcoached, okay, the offensive play calling going into the second half, in my opinion, was terrible. They were throwing the ball in the middle. They should have scored 7, not 3 points. They were throwing the ball in the middle of the field. They were eating up like so much time, yet with no problem they could throw a bomb and got a touchdown. So why were you playing middle field football when you got a chance to get 7 points going into the half, knowing Kansas City's going to get the ball back?
So you guys got to keep in mind, if you look at the trajectory of the way Jalen Hurts was passing, he doesn't have the zip that he had in the beginning part of the year. I think that injury took a little bit of zip. He still had touch. Don't get it twisted. He still had touch, but he didn't have the zip. So I think he didn't have enough power to get it out there as confident as he wanted to. Also, I looked it up here. So against the Giants, which we all know that it was a pretty one-sided game, their defensive line ran a 9-man rotation. Okay.
Who's?
Philadelphia Eagles ran a 9-man rotation.
Uh-huh.
Their defensive line ran 9 different men throughout the game.
So then I'm confused. Then I thought Byron was just saying they weren't rotating.
Hold on, no. I'm gonna go into this. We're touching that against the 49ers.
Yeah, but guys,
9-man rotation.
Andre, hold on a second.
But they only rotated.
I got you, but can you please stop? Because I love you. It's just, you're gonna go on, and I want to stick with one question. The play call. I'm just sticking to one. One, it's the play calling. You made your point. You said what you had to say. I'm going to go to Ray on this one. Why? Because Ray just said he threw a bomb to A.J. Brown that he was like, oh, my God, that was incredible. So kind of that throws out the theory that he couldn't throw the ball.
Notice the trajectory. It had touch, but it didn't have zip.
Whatever the deal is, I'm just saying.
It was a 50-50 ball.
What were your thoughts, Ray, what were your thoughts? The second half. Remember, A.J. Brown at one point had to stop, come back, and run all the way across the field.
This was my worry, that they were killing them on 4th down. I was like, this was a coach, the Philadelphia Eagle coach kept like, you know what, we're going to go. And I'm like, oh my God, when they go, they complete it. Mm-hmm. They had Jalen, when they were doing those quarterback sneaks, boom, they were getting first down.
They were getting 3 yards on a quarterback sneak.
Oh, yeah. But Byron said all year, that line pushes you back.
And
now Ryan says that line ain't no joke.
So that was, I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, oh my God, Andy Reid better give them one hell of a speech. Don't have them going out trying to look at Rihanna, get their butt in the locker room.
By the way, you know what the kids were calling Rihanna? Okay. First of all, they weren't. Obviously she was pregnant. That was everybody was talking about. But hey, God bless her. My only thing was hopefully they had good sound protection for the baby because it had to be loud, right? But
it's insulated, man. It's insulated.
You know what they called her? They called her Cindy Who from The Grinch.
Man!
Not during her performance, but you know how they were presenting her with the hair like that.
Yeah, with the hair.
And then one of the kids pulled up a picture of Cindy Who from the bro. If I pull that up now, I am telling you that was Rihanna.
I was like, why they have this pregnant woman on this high platform? I hope they got her strapped down up there.
They did. They had locks in there, but I thought that was funny. But I guess my question to you was, what did you think of the play calling of Philadelphia in the second half when they had enough time to score at least 7 points? Is my question. My problem was there was too many passes that were in the middle of the field.
I have an issue.
I'm asking Ray.
The play's not getting in fast enough.
Ray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was your thoughts on that? Any, if you have?
I still think they were still in it. I think they were still in it. I didn't have an issue with the passes in the middle.
Okay.
I think you just had to do what you had to do. And honestly, if they could have won, the Eagles could have easily.
We're gonna get to the problem at the end, right?
They could have easily won that game.
I would have liked to see them have a shot. That's what I would have.
I'm just saying. Well, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. I didn't have an issue with it. Okay, and that's fine. I had issue with it because I just thought that one, I had an issue their entire offensive because of they had two what do you call it? Shoot, I can't. My eye is in pain. They had two delayed games. Right. And they had two that I thought should have been called. Andre explained how it is called, but let's not get into that. But I'm saying they were running the clock down. The play was getting in really late. I mean, they were risking delay of games at least 4 to 6 times. That's a coaching problem.
8 times.
Okay. That goes back to coaching, which you were
saying.
Just the
second half.
Okay?
Just the second half.
That's what you're saying. Byron, what are your thoughts on the play calling by Philadelphia when they only scored 3 instead of going for 7? Do you have any issues with it?
Did it because they've lost the game, man. That's all that matters to me, man.
See what I mean? Don't make me remove you.
Only thing that matters.
You know I love you, but don't make me remove you because he gets so one-tracked that all he cares about that. And when he wants to talk about stats, he'll talk about it. Okay, they won, but let's analyze the game. That's what we do. We're sports guys. We got to analyze the game. Do you think that they won? Because that's it. I already said I bow down. Yes, right.
There you go.
The greatest in the world. You are the smartest, the great.
I know that already. You don't have to tell me.
I bow down to you. How's that? I done. I surrender. Now let's get to real sports talk.
Okay.
What's that? Do you think that was good play calling with that much time left, with timeouts, going against a Kansas City team that at any time, if they light up, they're going to light you up. Going for three, settling for three is not something I think was a good play calling. And so many possibly delay of games up to 8.
Well, maybe
you have no problem with it? Then say that. It's fine.
Okay, I don't have any problem with it. There you go.
Yeah, because he just cares about they won. That's it. All right, Andre.
I am ashamed to say it is weird to see a team as finely tuned in that depth of a game to getting the play calls in so damn late. And that's that. It could be that, that offensive coordinator just was starting to get nervous and wasn't sticking to the program of what works in what situations. He was trying to get creative with the script. I don't know. It could be that he and the head coach were, he would call in the play. And this happened to me as an offensive coordinator. I'm calling in the play and the head coach is overruling me and going, no, I want this. So I'm having to change the play. I don't know if that was what was happening. All I know is when you got guys still in the huddle and you're breaking the huddle at the 8-second mark, that's too late. That means you're something's wrong with your line of thought. I mean, when it got to the point where they're snapping the ball at the 0. I mean, I'm shocked you didn't have a guy.
So many times it was at 0.
I'm shocked I didn't see a linebacker or a cornerback flying in the air at the 0s just to time it. Because, something from like the program, where some guy, all I'm thinking is Ray Mack going over the offensive line, timing it just right, killing Jalen
Hurts. That crazy steroid dude with the
Latimer.
That's it.
I'm like, when is this gonna happen? Because too many times they're snapping at 0.
Lot. That's bad coaching. That goes to Ray. That goes to Andy Reid out coaching this guy. Right?
It comes with youth. It comes with also the fact that maybe there wasn't enough. The chain of command was buckling,
or
on the play calling.
He turned into Henry Winkler in The Waterboy. Remember when he was playing? When he was playing,
we're gonna fake the fake.
When he kept seeing his coach that fired him, and he started turning into that little puppy,
Bobby Boucher. The water boy.
He started running away. Remember when Henry?
I'm gonna go get a hot dog.
So now, yeah, exactly. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a hot dog. All right. So now let me inflate Byron's head more. Okay. All right, Byron. Byron called. First of all, I hate Kadarius Toney. Okay, and so did Byron. Right, but all of a sudden he wanted him. Byron texts me, either your game was a little ahead of mine or whatever. Kadarius Toney got that one touchdown. To me, that was nothing big. It was an out route that was like, okay. But then, but where he
did the same thing again.
Yeah, but when he sealed what Byron said was going to happen, he did. That punt return was incredible. So Byron, go ahead, give us everything you told us and give us everything that happened, Nostradamus.
Wait a minute. Okay, here we go. I told you that Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore were going to be the X factor in that game.
Yes.
It could have been a punt or catching a pass or whatever. I know I said it. I know I did. Uh-huh. And guess what happened? Even though the fact that I don't like the guy, whatever, but He can return punts. He's really good at returning punts.
Yes.
He's hard to tackle. Darius Slay.
That would, because the catch wasn't that big for me because he's done it before. It's one. I don't think you get a touchdown. But that punt return,
the wall, got to give it up to the wall.
That punt return was as a punt returner, one, it's detrimental to the other team, and it fires up your team, man. So once he did that, I said, "Oh snap! I got to get on the show, and I'm going to hear Byron, man." Because that was X factor. And then who was the other guy? He also showed up too.
Moore. It looked like they did the exact same play.
Same play.
Yeah, but everything out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Right. Which is what I told you, Philadelphia's terrible at. But I got to give you kudos. Kadarius got his piece. Think about this guy. He barely played football for 2 years for the Giants. Was a disaster, gets traded and walks away with a ring.
Yep.
Talk about life. So Byron, kudos to you on that. Ray, you're right. He outcoached. My only claim to fame was, remember, Philadelphia was in the same position against, the GOAT and Belichick. But it was still a great game.
This team is going to be great. It just wasn't their time. I think they're going to do some big things in the future. I think Kansas City is going to continue to do more than Philadelphia will be able to continue to do more. Because I think the NFC East is going to get better. It's going to be the old time that one of them is going to take up. I think Giants are on their way up. I think Washington's got some opportunity. Dallas is always dangerous, but I don't really care about them too much. You know what I mean? But I think Philadelphia's got a good team. But what I found out about Kansas City, though, was as much as we talked about that $500 million contract, the way it's structured, his salary keeps getting less and less every year. They have like 11 draft picks next year. 11. Can you imagine getting rid of Tyreek Hill, who's one of the best receivers in the league, and still winning a championship with an injured quarterback? And now you got 11 draft picks with cap space? I mean, it's the AFC. You know what I mean? I mean, just that team's going to be tough, And then I said, it's not easy in the NFC because in the NFC, you got to give your 49ers, what are the odds of that's the other thing I just thought was crazy. They should have just gave the ball run wildcat. But I mean, you got to give the 49ers credit, right? With having so little quarterbacks to get that far. We had a black cat ran on our field, man.
Don't say that because that
we had a black
Dallas
cat
for the rest of their lives.
We had a black cat somewhere on the field.
But I just think that Kansas City is going to be good for a long time. And we'll see. Didn't we say Bieniemy got an offensive coordinator coach somewhere else?
With the Commanders is what it looks like.
All right.
I think it's sad. He's got to go to a different team and take a lateral move to maybe be a head coach somewhere.
Yeah, but I want Byron to answer that. But at least now, if that offense does well, they can't say it's Andy Reid calling it. Rivera doesn't call offense.
They got Gannon in Arizona with the Cardinals.
Oof.
What?
I'm
just saying Bieniemy's opportunity will come because isn't Rivera more of a defensive coach?
He is a defensive guru.
Okay, so the fact that Bieniemy is not, because Byron's talked about it a lot, that Bieniemy was always under the shadow because Andy Reid is the guy calling it. Is that correct, Byron?
Alleged, yes.
Allegedly, right? So now that eliminates it. So if Washington at least puts up good numbers offensively, he deserves a head coaching opportunity.
Yeah, but if he screws up, or not him, well, okay, let's start with this. Who's going to be the quarterback for the Washington Commanders? Let's start there.
Probably Skeletor.
Carr.
Skeletor.
Colt McCoy.
Carr.
Geno Smith. Let me see who else.
Sam
Carr.
Howell.
Who else?
Derek
Sam
Carr.
Howell.
I think RG3 is coming back.
No, it's going to be the kid from
No,
North Carolina.
RG3.
Dude,
No,
I'm joking. I'm just throwing out every name possible because it ain't Heineke.
Well,
For
supposedly,
whatever reason it is. It is.
I honestly,
it's going to be Sam Howell. Is going to be the quarterback.
Oh, that's
Supposedly.
right.
I have it on a decent authority, not good authority, but they are actually in talks with the 49ers about Trey Lance.
What?
No way. Really?
Yeah.
And keeping Garoppolo?
Hey, Purdy proved himself to be a good guy.
No, but they still
but-
have to keep one Trey or Garoppolo.
What I'm getting at is if they keep Garoppolo and Purdy, why not give up a number 1 draft pick, save some cap space, and get something value?
What do you think? That's your team, Ray.
Well, I can tell you right out here, we love Brock. We love Brock to death out here in San Francisco.
But if you have to get rid of one or the other, Trey Lance or Garoppolo, because you know that's for sure.
We'll keep Brock and we'll keep Jimmy. Bye, Trey.
Oh, really? Okay, because I'm hearing that for sure Garoppolo is, but if that's changed, I'm happy. And I'm happy as a 49er fan that you'd rather keep Garoppolo because I just think he's been just so under appreciated everything that I just
I've said some things in the past about him, but I gotta love hate. It's like I love him and then I hate him. He does good stuff and then he just does some, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. But he's a winner.
He's a winner.
And at the end of the day, it's all about winning games and it's about stats and stuff. So, this Brock, man, this kid's special. This kid's special.
I think there's something to be said about the
something.
leadership qualities.
It's also that 49er team is special because they're doing it with multiple quarterbacks, right? I mean, it was plug and
multiple
play.
running backs too.
And then when you bring in McCaffrey and stuff, but let's get back to the Super Bowl now. All right, so how does everybody feel? I know how Andre is because we talked about it. I'm not going to ask you first, Byron, even though I should, because you only care that they won, so you're not going to be biased. I mean, you're not going to be objective. I don't know why, right? And I don't, and he's objective when I'm not on the show. If I'm on the show, he's just going to rub it in my face that I was wrong. That's it. There's no objectivity. He just wants to bother me. Okay, but Ray. Let me ask you a question. I wanted to see Jalen Hurts get that ball back with at least 2 minutes, whether he's losing by 3 or not. And that call was the right call. The guy could never catch it. It would never had it. I think that the top guy, Andre had taught me this too. He should have said, that's, ticky-tack. He wouldn't have caught it. Let's just wave it off. Let the game go. Because there was not a lot of penalties other than, the delay of games.
Mm-hmm.
There was other holdings in the game, not like egregious. It wasn't a bad one like in New Orleans. I just would have liked to see, as a sports fan, I would have liked to. I just hate when the game ends like that.
In my opinion, I'll be honest. I think it was a ticky-tack call.
Byron, lower your camera, Byron. You look, a little different. Yeah, thank you.
It was the right call, but it was a ticky-tack call in a big game like this. Just let these guys play.
Thank you.
And that's just my thing on it. Because I was like, come on, and I was like. I can't believe
Kansas City.
I said Philly's gonna riot. Philly, and shout out to my brother. He's a Philadelphia fan. Ha ha! It's going on. What he hasn't called. I can't find my brother nowhere. He ain't answering his phone. But your big brother was right. I'm just saying.
Byron was blowing up my phone.
He called me when the Niners lost. My brother called me.
Yeah, but that was a bad loss. That was just you getting two quarterbacks knocked out.
He's got no
half.
arm, and the guy's knocked out. What are we supposed to do? I would have did Wildcat.
Andre, I heard your part. Okay, Byron, I don't know what you're gonna answer, but I'm asking you. Let's go ahead.
What would you like to know?
Did you not see what I'm talking about? I just asked you the same question, right? You were able to answer me, right? He knows what the question is.
Maybe what you have to do is
he wants to know which spear to pick out so he can just stab me with it. That's really what he's looking to do. So all I'm asking you is, yes, he held. In my opinion, it was within 5 yards. It wasn't that egregious. The ball was never going to be caught, right? I would, at that point in the game, they were letting him play. In baseball, one of these guys had said it, the umpire determines the strike zone and you have to deal with it. In basketball, they start, hey, they're letting the guys play. They're not calling ticky-tack fouls, right? And if they do it at the end, everybody gets upset. In football, you do that in football, it changes immediately. It's not just a shot, right? And I really wish that call was overturned, in my opinion. And I would have liked to see Jalen.
Here we go.
They would have scored 3 anyways, right? I just would like to see Jalen get the ball.
Hey, here you go, Victor. I'm gonna be honest.
For real.
For a minute.
All right, can you lower your thing because we see like your nose?
There you go.
There you go. There we go.
Well, just so you know, I was watching a show this week, and Rob Ninkovich said that if Mr. Bradbury had been wearing white gloves instead of what he had on, they would have never seen, because it would have blended in with the white shirt. That's what he said. That was a Patriot thing. He said the Patriots used to do stuff like that. They wear whatever color, the other team, and they wear those gloves, and they would get away with stuff like that.
Smart. I never thought about that.
Which, by the way, is only allowed in the NFL. You can't do that in college.
By the way, that's one of the things that's also frustrating with Kansas City's clothes, because it kept looking like a flag is thrown when they're wearing those yellow gloves and yellow spikes. Like you couldn't, it was hard to tell the difference.
The yellow mouthpiece.
Yeah, but my question, I guess, Byron, would you have liked to see two questions? Would you like to see Jalen get the ball back? And 2, do you think that call should have been overturned? Just saying, let them play. It wasn't that big of a deal.
And the other big thing is James Bradbury admitted
he did.
He held it. He admitted.
He owned it.
He owned up to it.
No, you got to give him. He owned up to it.
So if he said that, that he did it, it's a foul. And the part 2, yes, I would have loved to see Jalen get the ball with 1:08 and drive down the field and win the game, because I like him as a player. I like him as a person because he does things the right way. Yes, I would like him to succeed. As far as the Philadelphia Eagles as a whole, no. Him as a person, yes.
Right. So for me, whether they won or not, even though I picked them, I will tell you, I would have just liked to seen the opportunity to see what he would do. That's it. Like, even if they would have lost by 3, I'm okay with it. To me, they ruined a good. Oh, Eric's coming in. Uh-oh. Why does he come in? Eric, it's at 8 o'clock. I'm trying to get off the show. Eric, you there? Eric's a Philadelphia fan. What was I going to tell you? That I just would have liked to see for the entertainment of the game. I would have liked to seen it, right? Even if Philadelphia still would have lost and I picked them, I just wanted, the game was so good to end it like that. To end it where your time runs out, you hit the ball with 8 seconds left, and you have to throw this stupid bomb. Just ruined the experience for me. I mean, it didn't ruin it because I enjoyed it, but that's how I felt. Andre, you said the same thing. It's the only reason I didn't get to you. Go ahead.
I didn't want it to end like that.
You didn't either. And you picked Kansas City, right? Here I am picking Philadelphia, and I'm okay if they would have lost. I just wanted to see 1:03 with Jalen doing his Jalen. Go ahead, Andre.
I feel, and we've talked about this.
you didn't call it, and I can't tell you who said this too, but it was one of those things that if you didn't call that all game, you let them play all game, that style, to change it up all of a sudden in the last 3 minutes of the game. In this case, it was sub 2 minutes of the game. It's just the white hat has the authority to overrule, and they didn't. And now the worst thing is happening. Instead of everybody talking about what a great game it was, what an awesome game it was, people are talking about a damn call. And at no time do you want the referees to be the ones to talk that you want to be talking about. You want to talk about the game, the quality of the game. This was a great game. I want to say
it still was a great game.
For 58 minutes. For 58 minutes, we were.
It could have been super spectacular if they would have gave that last shot. That's all I'm saying. Eric, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm listening to what he's saying.
I'm wishing. I
wanted Jalen to get that ball with a minute something left.
I'm wishing
that's the discussion we're talking right
like
now.
That. I'm wishing we would have had something where he got a minute 10, minute 20, and we're thinking of the Super Bowl in which the Rams, the last drive in which the Rams versus the Titans. And they
the Steve McNair,
which was my game, remember?
Exactly.
I told you that was one of my top games when we talked the other day.
And at the end of the day, if that would have happened, hey, you know what? Everybody in America would be saying, what a great game.
They still are. But
it still was a great game.
But we're putting an asterisk on it.
Exactly. Because now you never know what would have happened.
All right, so let me welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, Eric Winters, no? Is that correct, Eric?
Yes, sir. You good.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Eric Winters, who's a big Philadelphia fan, and he's been on our show several times, keeps coming on late, which makes me go to bed later. So please try to get on at 8 o'clock because I'm tired. My eye hurts.
I'm not going to hold you up.
But no, I'm going to give you your time because you're here. What am I going to do? You're a Philadelphia fan. Let me just welcome you to the show. We have Ray Sherrod. He also has a show. You could more than welcome go in there too. He's Sports 101. It's at 10 p.m. Eastern, which is probably kind of good for you, Eric, since you're late on our show. 7 o'clock Pacific time, because he's on the Pacific coast. I'm busting chops, but it's on Tuesdays at 10 p.m. By the way, Andres Gisbert is a regular host of ours, co-host. He comes on now. He'll be coming on at least once a month now because he can. And kudos to him. He's an analyst and a media, videographer or something for the USFL. So congratulations to him. Eric, the last piece I want to say is congratulations to your team, one, making it to the Super Bowl. And I also want to congratulate that Jalen Hurts balled out. If anyone had any doubts in that kid in the short period of time that he was in the NFL, he proved he belongs, and he proved that he can do what it takes for him to drive against a Kansas City team and score 2 points. God bless him. So I'm going to leave you with that and tell me your thoughts of the game. And the last piece we were talking about was that call that we didn't like. Right, we wanted.
I kind of dived in I didn't want to dive directly into the conversation while the brother Andre was speaking his piece, because he was totally and completely correct about what he was saying on both sides of it, because there's two sides to the fence. It could have went down like it did with brother Ray in the San Francisco game, where the calls wasn't made that needed to be made on the sideline with our boy Slim Reaper. I got to give it to you. At the end of the day, we was at home, so we had the advantage of the big screen. So you know what the deal is. If he was at your house, it would have been the same thing. And as far as what Andre said, listen, at the end of the day, it was a great product, but it does have an asterisk next to it, because of the simple fact somebody decided to put their 2 lumps of sugar in the tea that didn't even need it. I don't know why. I'm thinking Vegas had something to do with it. I'm gonna say it that way.
Conspiracy theory. That's a Byron move. You guys must coach together.
No, I'm just saying it was a lot of money on that game. You like it's a lot of people. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. You know, like I know, you guys been watching football for a long time, way before I probably was even born. Somebody didn't make it home that night. I'm gonna tell you that. So all I'm gonna say is this: at the end of the day, it was a great product. Somebody did something that they wasn't supposed to do, and you know. You were right. By golly, listen. At the end of the day, if it was a fifth, we all be drunk.
Let me ask you a question, right? As a Philadelphia fan, because I brought this up earlier, where I was dramatically disappointed was, you know how when you were on our show for the last couple of weeks, how we were talking how great the defense of Philadelphia, that they were 1 sack behind Chicago, that all 4 linemen has double digits.
Okay, so where you going at?
They had 0 sacks and 0 hurries.
Well, I'm gonna give you this in the same.
In my opinion,
KC didn't do anything neither. It's not like their defense was lighting the world on fire.
KC had 2 sacks, dude, and a turnover for a touchdown. What are you talking about?
They had a turnover for a touchdown because Jalen saw. Excuse my language. He saw the guy at the last minute and said, "Oh shit, he about to hit me." Let's just keep it 100. If you would have turned that corner, you probably would have dropped the ball too.
No. Jalen dropped the ball because he tried to switch hands. If he didn't switch hands, he wouldn't have fumbled.
Listen. You analyzed the game. I'm gonna tell you what I saw. When he looked up and saw that bit of lightning coming out, it was him.
Dude, let me tell you
and
something.
That was it.
I feel you, and I respect what you're saying. I just don't agree.
So you're telling me, all right, then
I'm telling you because Jalen is badass, dude. Look what he does on.
It don't matter. I don't care. You can be the bad. You can be the baddest man on the planet.
Hold on.
When you see somebody rolling downhill at you, you know if you played the sport. If you see somebody rolling downhill, at one point you're eventually gonna give me a chance to say what I gotta say. That's what we're not gonna do. You're not gonna keep talking over me.
Go ahead.
So, like I said, if you played the game and you see somebody coming down a hill at you, the first thing you're going to do is try to protect yourself at all costs.
No.
At that time, he didn't see him. The same thing happened to the Chiefs running back when he was running hard. He was doing his thing, and C.J. Gardner lit his ass up because he was running like reckless abandon. You can't do that when you play the game.
That's not true. That's how you run. And you asked me.
All right, I'm done. I don't even got nothing else to say.
I got you.
I ain't got nothing else to say because there's no way in the world that you can tell me that you played the game and you run with reckless abandon, running straight up and down, and expect not to get lit up. And that's what happened.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I played the game and I didn't expect to get lit up because when I did expect to get lit up, I got lit up and it hurt. Hold on a second. No, you said you were done. Now it's my time.
All right, say
okay?
no more.
I was a punt returner. So when I caught that damn ball, you had to be a little crazy. So when I ran the ball and I knew I was going to get hit, I laid a hit because I was a defensive player. So
you basically telling me you played all those years of football and you never got nailed.
I got crushed.
You never got trashed. Exactly.
I got rocked. But that's not what you said. You said that you're running reckless abandon, not expecting to get hit, not expecting to get lit up.
My first statement was Jalen did not see him coming. That's what I said.
I never got expected to get lit up because if I did, I'd be playing scared. That's it. All I'm saying to you is that as a football player, you can't worry about that because if you better. Byron, guys,
Eric.
I mean, I don't know how to tell you. If you play the game that way, you're going to get hurt.
Eric, and I say this with all due respect, it wasn't so, these guys know they're going to get lit. In this particular case, if you look at the video and someone who has had to see the video 5 and 6 times now, I could tell you that he did change hands, but it goes back to Alabama. When he was at Alabama. That's what all the running quarterbacks and running backs are embedded to do. They ingrain that to try to move the ball to the perimeter and not to the field.
That's football 101 though, brother Dre.
Not for a quarterback.
Listen, anybody that played running back know that the ball always goes to the opposite hand.
It doesn't go to the opposite hand. It goes to the sideline
perimeter. It goes to the perimeter.
Didn't we just say the same thing?
No, sideline.
Didn't you just say the same thing that I just said?
we're trying to make sure that we're trying to keep it professional, bro. So at the end of the day, when we keep it to the perimeter, now in most cases, as someone who has coached in every level of college and high school, I don't teach that to quarterbacks because I just want them to grab it with two hands and take and get their asses down. Now
protect the ball.
At the end of the day,
hold on. Prior to this, Dre, they was all saying Jalen was a running quarterback, right? He was a running back trying to play quarterback.
I like I said, I've coached differently. Am I wrong? Maybe. I don't know. I got some championships.
I've never coached a quarterback,
but at the end of the day, I don't coach. I have yet to have a freak of nature of Jalen's caliber.
Yeah,
I know.
We didn't see them growing
I've
up.
never been blessed.
Still
to this day.
Y'all can't be that old. Stop, man.
Don't say that. Don't say that, bro. Because we grew up with Randall Cunningham was the first one that really did that, right, Byron? I mean, like he was a surprise. Yes, Byron.
I'm coaching.
We weren't used to a Randall Cunningham. Were you?
No, I'm two of y'all talking at the same time.
My God.
What I'm getting at, Eric, is I'm coaching now in the college ranks. I'm a D1. I'm at Youngstown State. We don't even have that. It's to have and don't get me wrong, we've had some special quarterbacks, really special quarterbacks, but we don't have a freak of nature that I could teach them to run like a running back yet. So, we're talking about a different echelon of quarterback. Now, what I'm getting at is he made the switch. Is that right or wrong or indifferent? I don't know. I wouldn't coach it that way.
I would say it was wrong. I wouldn't
coach it that way, but that's something that's been taught to him since his freshman year at Alabama. Yeah. And then they encouraged that when he was at Oklahoma. So now he's in the NFL. Why are you going to change the kid's methods of playing that worked? I mean, this guy.
They're not going to change it, Andre. It's instinct at that time.
At this point,
it's instinct, right? But
you're right.
So really, that's the deal. But to address the point, I don't want to bring that too much because I thought Jalen balled out. I'm not going to blame him. I'm just saying that the defense was disappointing for me for Philadelphia. Right, yeah. Philadelphia's defense was disappointing. They gave up 34 points.
I never stated the fact that they showed up. They didn't show up. We just gonna keep it winding. They didn't show up, but it's not like Kansas City was lighting the world on fire either. It was one mistake that he made. Yes, did he fumble? Okay, yeah, he fumbled, and maybe the Eagles got one sack when they were supposed to light the world on fire. That it didn't happen. They got one sack for the game.
Yeah, Kansas but they had pressures too, though. They had hurry ups. They had pressures. They had one sack. Philadelphia had 0 and had a better defense.
Only 4 hurries.
Did you watch the game plan? Did you watch the game plan from KC? Did you watch the first half?
Yeah, of course.
All right, and the second half, you want me to tell you exactly what they did is exactly what you announced to me 2 shows prior to this. Throw it out to the flat because it's going to be wide open.
Exactly, right? Remember?
So when you do that, how quickly can you get to the quarterback if I know that flat is always going to be wide open?
And I agree. That was one of the keys.
So how are you going to talk to me about pressures when it cannot possibly be a pressure when I'm taking 1-2 steps, throw it to the flat? There is no pressure.
I can't answer that, but all I'm just saying to you is that we knew how hurt this kid was. Ray, I want to get your input. We should have pressured. They should have pressured. They should have figured out how to pressure him. They barely blitzed. They weren't rushing. Their rotation, they weren't rotating guys at the level they were doing before. They changed their whole makeup.
I don't think they did that. You know what they didn't do? Is cover the flat, like you said.
Well, they were already bad.
All these touchdowns in the flat.
Yeah, they were 31st in the league against that. So that was their key to success. That I said that 2 weeks ago. But still, they with even knowing they were 31st in that. They had 70. I don't want to just believer. I'm just saying to you that I was disappointed on not getting to him. And then when Mahomes got hurt, like Ray was mentioning, and Ray said he was mic'd up and he was really hurt. Man, I would have figured out how to throw everything in the kitchen sink at him. Ray, right? You mentioned that before.
The offensive line did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
And that was
Period.
another thing too. That
Period.
offensive line, man, it came out of no. Everybody was saying we was going to run through that. Offensive line was on point.
And that's and honestly, that's what saved his ass, because I thought they was gonna lit his ass up. I said, well,
I thought the same thing, bro. I
said, well, it is on. They about to light his ass up, because I would have went for the ankles, I would have went for the legs, I would have did everything, but the offensive line protected him, and they didn't cover the area that they were supposed to cover.
Let me tell you something.
Being covered.
I would have thrown my 57th player and do a penalty on it.
But it would have been
rough the passer.
He was taking 5-yard routes.
I will say this.
Hit him after the ball's thrown.
I will say this, that tacky BS towards the end, if Jalen Hurts would have, because that would have been his moment. And I would have liked to see
Jalen Hurts. What was tacky that you talking about?
The Bradbury
call.
The call against Bradbury, the defensive hold.
But that's football, though, right? Ain't that's how it go?
Yeah, but we're the argument with us is that in sports in general, and particularly in football, there was a call before that Bradbury literally held, and like it was blatantly, and they didn't call it. To call it with a minute something left, it should have been overturned. The guy never would have been able to catch it. Yes, he admitted that he hold. They should have let the game play. They should have let the ball, let the game be decided by the players, not by the call. That's
listen, from a fan standpoint, yeah, but if you keep the rules,
yeah,
it is what it is. I got to take it on the chin. I'm the one that lost.
I got
so
you, but yeah, I hear you. But at least we're defending it. So you're honorable for that. But at least we're telling you, because you could say that, but look at the terrible call they did against the Saints. That was blatantly egregious.
Which one?
The one that he when in the Saints lost, they couldn't go to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they didn't call that one.
Yeah,
I mean, there was no confusion how bad that was.
No. It didn't fit the script. It didn't fit the script.
Okay, and then the entire 58 minutes of the game, they were letting the guys play. They weren't calling a lot of calls. That's why we're arguing. Why did you call this now? Okay, you did your job. You called it. We're okay with that ref calling it. I think what Andre is saying is the top ref should have just overruled it and said, no, let that go. The guy couldn't have received it. Give them the ball. That's it. Let him go for a field goal. Let the game go. Right?
Okay, so I mean, I'm not trying to push it down the road, but what do you guys think would have happened? If it did go our way?
I don't know. That's the problem. I would have liked to have seen Jalen.
I think it still would have been I still think they still would have made a field goal. But now you got
Kansas City
with Kansas City still would have made a field goal. But now you're talking about Jalen with 1:10 to 1:20. And we're giving the kid a fighting chance, and everybody seeing a true game instead of a game now that has an asterisk.
Yeah, we would have saw 60 minutes of a phenomenal.
But brother Dre, you still ain't answered the question though. I get what you're saying. I want to know what would have been the final call. What would have been?
Well, we don't know. I mean,
we don't know. At the end of, all I'm saying is, I think at the end of the day, I don't know who would have won. I think it would have been nice to see it play out instead of it be decided by a penalty.
And leaving 8 seconds left for no reason. Like it was just now it was a waste.
They're taking the knee.
Yeah, it was an 8-second game, and then it was like you let the air out of a great game. You know what I mean? You let if there was a time the defense stood up, it was then, other than Bradbury's piece. So okay, we'll leave it alone. Anyhow, Philadelphia played well. They did good.
I'm gonna throw something out there before you sign up. I knew the game was over when we saw Riri when Rihanna was pregnant. I knew it was over.
Damn you, ASAP Rocky! Damn it!
I was like, is she
Damn you, ASAP Rocky!
Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you, that was a great show, but man, I was
Yeah, it
scared.
was a great show, but
The
I
way
was like,
that the way that the elevation was, everybody was like, she must be locked down, man. Because, with the,
I knew when
the
she
wrist.
took her hand and she rubbed looked like she rubbed her stomach. I said, she pregnant.
Yeah, man.
I said the
like,
same
it's
thing
over.
last
We
year
not
when
winning this
50
thing,
Cent was on
man.
the show. I thought he was pregnant.
But I now get the choreography and all what them white jackets were, and I get what she was talking about now.
I don't get it.
What was that?
What was that? I don't get it. What was it?
Come on, man. You know what?
It was Oompa Loompas, man.
Listen to me. The kids watching the show with me when they kept promoting that Rihanna was coming on, but she didn't have the same hairdo. But the hairdo they showed in the promotion, they called her Cindy Who. They called her Cindy Who from The Grinch.
Oh,
she looked just like Cindy Who. If I show you a picture of Cindy Who,
bro,
oh my God.
Cameraman was on point because it zoomed in on her face and then whoa, what in the world? But
yo, that's crazy.
I will say this as a guy, as a video guy, I gotta give props to whoever designed that set because it looked like a sci-fi movie.
And they don't get paid, right? I didn't know this.
No, they don't get paid.
None of the performers ever get paid to play for the Super Bowl, to perform for the Super Bowl.
That's nice to put on your resume, though. I mean,
no, that's what they say. You get for two things. I got a couple things that I want to end this with. One, they don't get paid, but the NFL pays for all the production, for all the other stuff. So everything that was produced, the way it was produced, whoever does it, I don't think the NFL takes that, but they pay for the production of the show.
I know one thing.
They don't pay the performers, which was
pretty
cool.
I gotta give it up for. My boy Chris Singleton that sung, the national anthem.
Oh yeah.
And
Chris Stapleton.
Philadelphia.
Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, Stapleton that sung it. Yeah. That sung that. He killed it. Not as well as Whitney Houston killed it back in the day, but he killed it. And Sarah Lee Ralph, I believe her name is. She killed it.
Cheryl Lee Ralph is an EGOT winner.
Oh, wait a second. I got one more tidbit. Did you know, and I got this from Andre's father, Andre Sr. Did you know that the flyby were all women pilots?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It was to celebrate the 50th anniversary of female aviators in the Navy.
They were all women pilots by the flyover. So I want to give a shout out to them. Congratulations to them. I love seeing these things.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
That commercial was pretty good too. With the girl trying to grab the flag and all of that.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was beautifully done because the NFL is pumping in a lot of money to these local to states to allow female flag football for these girls to have flag football at the high school level.
Yep.
And then I wanted to just make one comment because I had to say I was wrong, but now I want to come back with something good. So we were talking about, and I think Eric, you were on there, and I was wrong. We were talking about the World Cup versus the Super Bowl, right? Okay. Yeah, but you knew I'm coming back with something.
Oh
right?
my God!
I just want to make sure. One, the World Cup is every 4 years. Two, yes, their viewership blows us away. Okay, but I'm going to send you. I'm going to send Byron, text him. We did a comparison of revenue generation.
Oh my God!
Super Bowl. I don't care how many hundreds of billions of viewers you soccer people want to watch.
You about to start something.
You don't spend any money. The NFL crushes them in revenue.
Okay.
In revenue. And it's played every year between the playoffs and everything. So, yes, you got more viewership. Yes, there's more popular throughout the country. But from a revenue generation perspective, they blow them away by the billions. And I didn't know that. It happened to pop up on my phone. And, of course, I had to share it with Byron.
Because remember, these countries pay big money for the privilege to host the FIFA World Cup. And
They're
then
cheap.
And then FIFA goes ahead and says, okay, but we're gonna get we get all the ticket sales, and we'll just give you the privilege of hosting it. And then like all these hotels and whatnot have to give the teams at a discount, and it's a joke.
Don't steal my thunder. All I'm saying to you is that I'm just telling you right now is that the NFL, from a revenue generation perspective,
Don't get me started on Formula One racing.
No, okay, let's not get into that. You know,
How much was the average ticket for the game?
Oh my God, it must have been 1,500 or higher.
Well, for the Super Bowl or for the World Cup?
For the Super Bowl.
Well, even no. Let's talk about that. The World Cup is 1/3 the price of a Super Bowl ticket.
Of course.
So you want to keep going? Don't let me keep going with revenue.
Well, you're talking about face value, or you're talking about secondary market? Because
I'm tired. My eye hurts.
Finals is a lottery to get the tickets.
Okay, Super Bowl 2019 versus the World Cup. 14 billion in the NFL versus 5 billion in the World Cup.
Oh no, you're right.
$9 billion. Ray, would you like a piece of that?
Of course.
Okay, exactly. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Let's end the show.
I'll take 1%. I'll take 1%.
I'll take one, exactly. Byron, you good?
Yeah, I'm
So
good.
Byron,
Because
how's your Meals on Wheels people treating you now?
I haven't had any sightings of them all week. Because maybe I see them tomorrow, but
they probably all broke a hip. God bless them. Hope they didn't, but they're probably.
God! I'm not laughing at that joke.
I'm not laughing at it. I'm just saying that.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody, man.
I don't want to wish that any. I apologize. I didn't really mean to say that. I didn't mean.
Yeah, he about to go viral.
I didn't mean to make it go bad. I'm just saying they're Philadelphia fans. They're probably really upset, so they didn't want to talk to you.
Oh, they were blowing me up before the Super Bowl.
Well, anyways, God bless you and what you do for them. Again, our show is every Thursday. At what time, Byron?
8:00, man.
What time, Andre?
8:00.
What time, Ray?
Well, I'm out here in the Pacific, so it's 5:00 for me.
Okay, good, but still, that means it's 8 p.m. Oh my God, Eric.
When I get a chance to roll in here, but it is 8:00.
Okay, thank you. We do enjoy you coming on. I know we go at it, but it is what it is.
Listen, it's all really football. It's all sports talk, man.
Proud of your Philadelphia team. I think your Philadelphia team played a great Super Bowl. So you got nothing other than an L. Outside of that, you played great football. I mean, I'm happy for
somebody
you.
tell Juju that.
Yeah. But anyways. Every Thursday, please don't forget to support the Sportscast and subscribe to all our channels on YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher. Gentlemen, if you guys please spit it out, show it out there. Hey, Ray, you want? Let's end it with your show is every Tuesday at 10 p.m. You want to talk about it a little bit?
Sure. It's me and my good friend Vet Aaron. We talk about football and sometimes we talk about other sports. You can catch us on Tuesdays, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, and it's Sports Talk 101. Thank you for having me here. It was great talking football, my favorite sport.
I'm gonna join at 10:57 and keep you on till like midnight for Eric. I'm gonna say my name is Eric Winters.
Oh my God!
Calling in. But hey guys, I really appreciate it. We had a great season. Hey, we got to support a little bit of the USFL for Andres.
Yeah, that's football right there. I like that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Because he's working with them and doing some stuff. So we'll be talking a little about that. We're gonna change up a little bit about the show. Gentlemen, it's been a great season, overall. God bless you guys. Protect your family. Protect everybody you do. Byron, thank you for all you do for the Meals on Wheels and everything. And I know you had a little technical difficulty with the squirrels today. So now you can't make fun of me. But Byron, thank you for everything. And, we're looking forward to the Giants, doing something again this year. I think Philadelphia's going to be good. The NFC is going to be good this year. And then we'll see what the draft picks look like. But, gentlemen, you have a great night. Love you guys all. I wish you nothing but great prayers and success to your families. Yeah, Andre.
Thank you.
Hey, I got a couple shout outs to make. One, I want to congratulate Coach Calhoun of the Youngstown State Penguins. Their basketball team, they got their 21st win today.
Calhoun from like the real Coach Calhoun?
No. He's a different dude. He's a local legend. Like his father was a local legend here in this part of Ohio. And, being that when he first took over at YSU, he was even short scholarships because it was just a mess. And he's turned it into an amazing year. A lot of it has to do with.
All right, bro, we got to go. We got to cut this off. So give me my next shout out.
And then my next shout out is to Coach Doug Phillips. Again, he's always giving me the shout out and giving me love. I mean, he's the head coach over at Youngstown State, and I got nothing but love for the man. Thank you for always giving me the opportunity and believing in me and promoting me to and telling other people great things about me.
Awesome. Well, God bless those guys too. Ray, good luck with your show. Eric and Byron with the kids and coaching and the things that you guys do. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for joining the show. And we'll see you next Thursday at 8 p.m. Same bad channel. Byron, you got anything? Closing words?
No, all good in the hood.
Okay, how was your beef jerky ribs or something?
Chicken. Like what?
But did you cook your
I
chicken?
changed up, man. I had some nachos.
Really?
Yeah.
Full pork nachos or just regular nachos?
You got lazy?
No, how you want? Say filet mignon.
Ooh, really? Oh,
man.
Yeah, I want to try some of those. All right,
Steak
good night.
nachos.
Good night, gentlemen. Have a great night. God bless.
Good night, y'all.
Bye. Bye, y'all.
Peace. Bye.